Sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are doing another movie review, and today we're going to be reviewing Matilda the musical, which came out in like 23? I don't even know. It was a couple of years ago. I seen this movie like a year ago for the first time, and it reminded me that I haven't made a review on this movie because I was talking about weapons yesterday in yesterday's video, and I mentioned the kids chasing the woman in Weapons, and it reminded me of how the kids like revolted against Miss Trunchbull in Matilda, and then it just reminded me that I haven't made a movie review on Matilda the musical. So that's exactly what we're doing today. I wanted to do a movie review on Matilda the musical from like 2022 or 3. I liked it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I think, oh my god, I can't. I'm gonna offend so many people. It was just as good as the original one. I can't believe I just said that. To be honest, I love both of them. The original one is obviously like, it's a 90s classic. I grew up with it. When I went into this new one, actually, I was like, you can't really beat the original Miss Trunchbull. You can't really beat like the OG, like Danny DeVito's character. I just thought it's not gonna really match up. But I wanted to watch it because at that time I was like just discovering musicals for the first time. And I was looking for things that I knew. I had only watched like Mamma Mia at that time. And I was looking and I seen it on Netflix and it was like Matilda the musical, and obviously I already knew Matilda, so I was like, let's see what the musical is like. I gave it a chance and I'm glad I did. I loved it. This is just a little fun fact: the girl who is Matilda is also Abigail from the horror movie. And when I was watching Matilda, I was like, I know that girl from somewhere. I've seen her before. And I literally had to look her up, and I found out, yeah, she is Abigail. But yeah, I really liked it. It was different. This one was like a British version where the original was like American, and I did like the musical. Like, I liked the songs in it too. I didn't know how they were gonna pull it off being a musical, like, because I was just thinking of like the original Matilda. I was like, how are they gonna pull off certain scenes if it's gonna be a musical? And they did it really well, and I thought they did a great job with like the cast as well, like Alicia Weir, who plays Matilda, and Emma Thompson plays Miss Trunchbull in this one. She does a really good job, because I was like, how are they gonna do that? How are they gonna get somebody who's better at Miss Trunchbull than the original one? But she was different, but I still found her really intimidating. Looking at her from like a kid's perspective, I could see her to be very intimidating, very scary. I knew some lunch ladies at school that were exactly like that, and they were scary. I may have cried watching that movie. Not proud of that, so don't go telling anybody. But it did have a very emotional ending. I remember that very well. It was so nice, though. It was such a beautiful ending. And it was similar in ways to the original one. But there's a couple of songs in it that were like very emotional, I guess you could say. There was like 2 or 3 that were very emotional. And I felt really bad for Matilda in this. Like, I'm a very big empath, so I feel like I relate to characters a lot. Or like I connect with them and I empathize for them. I've talked about this in a whole other video. But I felt really bad for her. And like her dad, who was played by Stephen Graham, he came across as so fucking like, oh, I was so angry because of the way he treated her. There was one thing that really upset me. Like, the only thing she had in her life that she liked and that she found comfort in was reading. And he like ripped up her books in front of her. Oh my god, I was so fucking mad. And she was so sweet too. Like, she harmed nobody. She was just keeping to herself, reading her books, locked away in the attic. And like, I felt just, my heart broke for her. I don't really know where I was going with that, but just in general, the songs are great. They made it work. It was different, but it worked. It was like a great movie. In fact, I watched it multiple times. I did really enjoy it. And especially because it was that, like I said, it was at that period where I was just discovering musicals for the first time. I was not very experienced in the musical world, so to me this was like, with it being my second musical that I had ever seen, or third if you're including Mamma Mia too, I just thought it was really wholesome. It was really sweet. I was rooting for the kids, but I did think like the actors like Stephen Graham and Emma Thompson, they did a really good job of like, because he was playing what was originally Danny DeVito's role, and I wasn't sure how they were going to find somebody to be able to pull that off, and he did it in a completely different way. But he still came across as like how you imagine Matilda's dad. Oh, the other kid that like got swung around by the hair, I was hoping they kept that scene in, and they did, and if actually they made it better than the original. Of course the original was a lot older, but it just kind of looked fake. Except for like the spinning the hair part was real, and then when she was like flying in the air and she was just in that like seated position, like going through the air, it looked a little fake looking back at it now. This one looked a lot more real, and it was a lot more of a scary scene rather than comical. Like, it actually felt really sad to watch, because like Miss Trunchbull just come over to her and she's like, I think she said like, what are these? And or was that in the original movie? I can't remember, but the dialogue was pretty similar. She basically said, what are these? I told you to cut them off, or something like that. And then she just grabs her and like spins her around and like throws her. And they kept that in, so I was pretty happy about that. I was surprised how well they made, because Miss Trunchbull herself has a couple of songs in the movie, and I was wondering, like, how are you supposed to be able to take Miss Trunchbull seriously and like intimidating and scary if she's gonna break into a song, you know what I mean? So I didn't really know how they were gonna make that work, but it did. It looked good. Like, she still came across as really intimidating and scary, even though she had songs and like she was singing, and the way she was singing was so like aggressive and guttural and like so full of hatred, and it was just really good. I really liked it. The song at the end, oh my god, that final scene, it's called Still Holding My Hand. Oh my god. It's so fucking sad. Like, it's sad, but in a nice way. It's like a beautiful ending. That made me cry, because it was like, finally, these kids, you know, years and years of fear and like being tortured by Miss Trunchbull, and now it's finally over. And like, you could see how much happier they were, and you just like felt like they could be so much more better. They're so full of potential, and they could amount to so much good things if they just were able to express themselves. Rather than just be like indoctrinated by Miss Trunchbull and hit with things and like thrown out windows and stuff like that. Force fed the chocolate cake, which that does happen in this one too. Bruce does have to eat the cake, and in this film, it's a lot bigger than the one in the original, and he still eats it all. But it happens at like a musical segment too. Like, it's actually like there's a song going on as he's eating, and it's so good. Oh man, I really want to watch it again. I haven't seen it in like a year, maybe a little less. I think I watched it like around the winter last year. But yeah, I think it's a really good movie. I recommend you guys check it out if you haven't seen it. If you're like me and you're very critical of remakes, I get it. Like, I get that you're a little like, I'm not gonna watch that shit, I'm gonna stick to the original. That's what I was like, but I'm glad I gave it a chance, because it's actually a really good movie. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and chase your dreams.